Welcome guys, huge thanks to Arena Breakout for sponsoring this video. I know many of you PUBG mobile players will be interested in Arena Breakout, which is also developed by Tencent. Just like PUBG, it's an FPS game with loot. But this isn't like your typical shooter games, it's an extraction game. You enter in a map and loot all the essential items such as armor, weapons, health and food items. You're not just there to survive, but you have to escape with all the loot you carry. It's one of the hardest and most realistic tactical first-person shooters. This game is heavily inspired by a popular PC game called Escape from Tarkov. It's very similar. I would say it's basically a mobile version of Escape from Tarkov. I'm really excited that Arena Breakout will have a global launch on July 14th. But you can pre-register now using the link in the description or pinned comment below. It's cool to see that 10 million players have already pre-registered. Anyway, Arena Breakout is a players versus player multiplayer game. You'll encounter real players, AI bots, and even boss bots, which are harder to defeat but offer more rewarding loot. The concept of this game is kinda similar to PUBG Mobile's Metro Royale, but Arena Breakout takes it to the next level by offering a hardcore and realistic gaming experience. For instance, to reload a weapon, you first need to manually load the bullets into the magazine, then insert the magazine into the gun. If you forgot to do this, you won't be able to reload. And I've been in this situation many times, so you have to constantly check how many bullets you have remaining after every gunfight. This is really fun because it can happen to your opponents as well. Like in this situation where me and the enemy both ran out of ammo, luckily I had my teammate to cover me. The graphics are just insanely next level. You get ultra-realistic graphics, and the frame rates can go up to 120 FPS, which gives a buttery smooth gameplay experience. Just by walking around, you can notice the real dynamic rendering, with its realistic lighting and shadow effects. Even the sound effects are highly detailed. You can hear hundreds of different sounds in the background. The visual effects and audio quality of this game have left me genuinely amazed. It certainly sets a new benchmark for mobile games, delivering graphics and sound effects on par with those PC and console platforms. Let's dive into a match and I'll walk you through the gameplay, teaching you how to play. When you start the match, it's referred to as a raid. Check the map and spot the extraction points such as these 3 locations. This is where you need to go in order to exit the map. But first, we need to look for some supplies and gather loot to take back to our base. The motel is a prime looting spot, as it has the most resources. There's a high chance other players will be here too. So get ready and gear up for potential gunfights. Quick reminder: if you get eliminated, you will lose everything you have looted, and you have to start fresh again. My top advice is, don't die. Your goal is to escape from this combat area alive. So avoid gunfights as much as you can, and loot every single room as possible to gather as much loot as possible. If you are lucky, you might find some expensive items that you can later sell or trade those items to buy powerful weapons. After playing many matches, I've got familiar with the locations of these crates in the motel. After a few games, you'll also start recognizing where these military crates and lockers tend to be placed. The healing mechanics in Arena Breakout is a complex method. Most new players might find it challenging at first. It's not like other games where you simply use a first aid kit to regain health. But in Arena Breakout, there's a twist. You have to pay attention to which part of your body has been injured and treat it accordingly. Let's say you've been shot in the leg, it will slow down your movement speed, and you will slowly bleed out and start losing health. To recover, you first need to stop the bleeding by applying bandages to the wound. After that, use a surgical kit to fix the broken parts or bones. Then, to fully regain your health, use a first aid or med kit, and lastly, painkillers to quickly relieve pain, otherwise your vision will be blurry. If you try to use first aid to recover your health without fixing wounds and broken parts, it won't let you fully recover your health until you fix all the body parts. This is the hardest FPS shooter game on mobile. It just has real life-like game mechanics, but I really enjoy this difficulty because it's fun. So make sure to carry some painkillers, bandages, a surgical kit, and first aid kits. Otherwise, you will keep losing your HP. Eventually you may die. And if you die, you lose all the items you have looted and brought along with you. Each battle is always a high-risk game, a winner-takes-all gamble, so don't bring what you are not willing to lose at all. One of my best strategy or a tactic is starting the match with nothing but a knife and go find a militant bot and eliminate it and get weapons from the bot. Now from here, you can choose to go play stealthy and focus on looting, or take the aggressive approach by hunting down other players to finish them and steal all their loot. The beauty of this tactic is that you have nothing to lose, but they lose everything. This is what I would call a low stakes and high reward strategy. But if you want to take a direct gunfight and go for high risk high reward and risk everything, then let me show you my top 5 favorite weapons in Arena Breakout to become a killing machine. At number 1, we have the AK-74N. It's an inexpensive weapon that packs a powerful punch in close to mid-range combat. However, its recoil and handling can be a bit challenging to manage. It's like a high recoil high damage weapon. But don't worry, with some practice on your sprays and hip firing, you'll master its recoil handling in no time. The default AK-74N is not gonna look great without a scope, so in order to make this gun more versatile, you need to add some attachments in Gunsmith. Here's my recommendation. Grab this red color 30 bullets mag, and for grip get the AK comp. And now the stocks, get the AK-74 stock, and get this AK receiver, and now for the scope, select this cross scope mount. This will enable an extra scope attachment slot. Here you can add a cheap red dot-like scope to your AK. For muzzle get this AK-74F, leave the rear sight empty, and buy the cheapest things as possible for everything else. You can get this all for around 10k, and after adding all these attachments, the weapon handling becomes a little bit easier, and this red dot scope looks sick as well. Next up at number 2, we've got the SKS, a semi-automatic sniper rifle. It's easy to find this weapon on the farm map from the militants, or you can buy it from the market at a very low cost. If you load the SKS with T45M ammo, you'll only need 1 or 2 headshots to defeat your enemies. One great thing about the SKS is that you can quickly fire multiple rounds. But remember, if your enemy is standing still, go for those headshots. I'd strongly suggest buying a scope attachment to improve your aim. Coming in at number 3, we've got the AKM. AKM is one of the strongest weapons in Arena Breakout. It has great gun power in close combat fights, and even in the mid-range, if you can handle its recoil, you will have the best gun ever. But to make the AKM more stable and precise, you'll need to invest in a range of attachments. A scope is an absolute must-have, so head to the gunsmith and grab something like a red dot sight. Now you can aim a little better. Now at number 4, we have MP5. MP5 is a submachine gun that is really powerful at close range. In mid-range it's not the best, but it gets the job done. But in combat, MP5 is just too powerful. Especially if you buy its higher tier ammo like DUM rounds or AP 6.3 rounds. It's expensive, but MP5 is an SMG, so you will do more damage by hitting arms and legs rather than the armor. Close range hip fire is excellent with MP5. And finally, in the top 5, we have UMP45. UMP stats are very similar to many other FPS games. It's a very underrated SMG that surprises you every time you use it. It always amazes me on how well it performs in close combat. It is of course a close combat only weapon. You may have to carry a lot of UMP ammo because not many players use UMP, and it's hard to find its ammo. Make sure to carry plenty of UMP ammo. Arena Breakout challenged me to do the Triathlon Fun Challenge, where I need to complete at least 3 following tasks from this. Starting with the first challenge, collect 5 food items in a single game and consume them. Here's a drink. Now let's go to the motel, where we can find a lot of food items. This is a nom nom baked beans. And this is canned stew. Let me take this gunfight real quick. Anyway, now let's drink this good milk. By the way, these food items and drinks can recover the hunger and dehydration. This is canned carp. The next challenge is to break my legs from a high fall and heal it 3 times. Here's the first time. Here's the second time. This was critical damage, but we can recover. Here's the third time. And now the last challenge is to kill 3 players with sniper rifle, so here's the first kill. Now the second kill. And finally the third kill. And successfully evacuated. Big shout out and thank you to Arena Breakout for sponsoring this video and inviting me to be a part of their beta testing. I had a lot of fun playing this game. Arena Breakout will launch globally on July 14th in Google Play and the App Store. But you can pre-register now by using my link below in the description and pinned comment. You will get the following rewards. 10 million players have already pre-registered. Don't miss out, join the party now. See you guys in the next one.